This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And the birthday for today, May the 21st, is a Canadian basketball player. I know it seems a little biased because, Canadian, like, in me does this. But, how many good Canadians have been in the NBA? Well, in the past 10 years, a good host. But this guy played 12 years in the NBA for many teams, including the Raptors. He's actually a community ambassador for the Raptors nowadays. He's 6'11". He played for the University of Kentucky, was a decent draft pick, and even got into the All-Star game in 2004, becoming the second Canadian to do so. His name is Jamal Magloire. Jamal Magloire is 45 years old, by the way. Magloire was born in Toronto to immigrant parents and was raised in Scarborough, and helped them win back-to-back Ontario provincial championships in 95 and 96. Magloire enrolled in the University of Kentucky, a very prestigious NCAA school. It was amazing to see a Canadian get there. It was named to the SEC All-Freshman team in 97, and even started some games as a sophomore for Kentucky when they went to the 1998 National Championship and won. So he won a national championship. How many Canadians can claim to that? Not even Nick Stokes can. He was actually a first-team SEC selection in his senior season, which is really high praise because of how big the SEC plays. I'm an Arkansas nut. Anyway, he would be Kentucky's all-time leader in block shots with 268 and played all 4 seasons. You know how some college players only play 1 year and then leave for the NBA. He played all 4. So it's the 2000 NBA draft. The draft that saw Kenyon Martin, who would have been pretty much leading Cincy to a national championship if it wasn't for his injury, being the number 1 pick. Vancouver picked second and took Strong Miles Swift. Ooh, big mistake. Other big men drafted before Jamal Magloire. Darius Miles went 3rd to the Clippers. Marcus Fizer went 4th to the Bulls. Chris Mim went 7th to the Bulls. Well, the Bulls made Chris Mim. Joe Prisbilla went to Houston. Jerome Moiso went to Boston. Etan Thomas went to Dallas. Jason Collier went to Milwaukee. So all those big men, like, power forward / centers. Well, Hedo Turkoglu was a point for power forward sometimes too. But anyway, all those big men, flops. Minus Kenyon Martin and pretty much minus Hedo Turkoglu. And you can't call Jason Collier a bust because he died so young. He was like, what, only 30 when he died? That was just so sad. But anyway, Jamal Magloire went 19th to the Charlotte Hornets. So Charlotte had Jamal Magloire. Alright, no big deal. So he was a reserve for most of his years. But then when the Hornets went from Charlotte to New Orleans because of problems, they relocated. He started all 82 games for the New Orleans Hornets, averaging 10 points and 8 rebounds a game. In 2004, he did better. He averaged 13.6 points and 10.3 rebounds per game and got named to the Eastern Conference All-Star team, becoming only the second All-Star with Canadian roots, other than Steve Nash. Magloire played well. He actually scored 19 points to lead the Eastern Conference, and he only did 21 minutes, so that's amazing. So the Hornets really liked him, but then was traded to Milwaukee before the 05-06 season started for Desmond Mason. Magloire did okay in his 1 season with the Bucks, and then was traded to Portland in the Trailblazers for 3 unknown players. So Portland needed to get rid of their Jailblazer thing. Anyway, Magloire could not do anything. In fact, only 8 times in his 2007 season did he score more than 10 points. He became a free agent, and New Jersey decided to sign him. Unfortunately, though, he didn't play much in the 08 season and was waived by the Nets. 4 days later, Dallas picked him up to back up Eric Dampier. Dallas needed a backup center because Desinga Diop was traded from the Mavs to the Nets to get Jason Kidd back. So Dallas signed Magloire for the 2008 season. And it didn't work out so well. And then Miami decided to sign him as a free agent for the veterans minimum. He was actually named starter for most of the 2009 season and then was re-signed. Miami made him an enforcer. And he would resign for the 2011 season. The season that saw Miami's big three of Chris Bosh, LeBron James, and Dwayne Wade to play. And he got to the NBA Finals. Good for Magloire. The only problem is Dallas beat them. And then he was unsigned by a team until late in the 2011 season when the Raptors decided to take him up, making him the first Canadian-born player to play for the Raptors. He would not play in the NBA after being waived by the Raptors before the 2012 season started. He tried his best. He didn't really play it much. He was sparingly played after the 2007 season. So in his career with the Hornets, Milwaukee, Portland, New Jersey, Dallas, Miami, and Toronto, 7 teams, he played 680 games, only 7.2 points per game, 6.5 rebounds per game. But remember, most of it is when he was not really starting a game and all that. So, the Hornets trusted him. He made 4 playoff appearances with the Hornets organization. His best run was 2011 with Miami, getting to the finals, but he only played 3 games. 2001, he helped Charlotte get also close to the NBA semifinals, losing to Milwaukee. I know that because the other Eastern semi had Toronto versus Philly, and we all know about that one. That was not quite a shot. That was the one Vince Carter missed at buzzer beater. So anyway, yeah, he was okay and all that, trying to help the Hornets out. And he was named a basketball consultant and all that. So anyway, so Jamal Magloire was big. A lot of Canadians were in the NBA and all that. If you look at Canadian players who are active, the active Canadians, you have Nickeil Alexander-Walker playing for Minnesota, Delano Banton playing for Toronto, RJ Barrett for the Knicks, Cram Birch for San Antonio, Chris Boucher for Toronto, O'Shea Brissett for Indiana, Dylan Brooks, Memphis, Brandon Clark, Memphis, Lagoon Stewart for OKC, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, OKC, Caleb Houston for Orlando, Corey Joseph in Detroit, Mavudu Kembegale for Boston as a prospect, AJ Lawson, Dallas, Trey Lyles for Sacramento, Benedict Martin for Indiana, Jamal Murray, Kitchener for Denver, Andrew Nembhard for Indiana, Kelly Olynyk, Utah, Eugene Omaruri, Detroit, Dwight Powell, Dallas, Shannon Sharp, Portland, Tristan Thompson, Lakers, and Andrew Wiggins for Golden State. It's just amazing. Looking at the Canadians and all that. Like, Steve Nash is in the Hall of Fame. The only Canadian to be MVP. Steve Nash was the only Canadian to be part of an all NBA first team 3 times, 05, 06, 07, before Gilgeous-Alexander joined them this year. Anthony Bennett and Andrew Wiggins were first overall picks. Wiggins won Rookie of the Year. A lot of all rookie teams. Canada has their own thing. And 62 basketball players since 1946 for Canadians. So it's a great time to be a Canadian, eh? Anyway, I'm Jeff Dunn, and I do.